Hey!
Finally! People have no idea what I've been going through. My software has blown up.
We've been duct taping it back together.
We have been duct taping it back together. It has worked brilliantly for the last 6 months, except for in the beginning when I had no clue what I was doing whatsoever.
Sure.
And this morning, doing my morning meditation, I come in and it's like, we're not going to log you in. Oh my gosh. So hello, Georgie, and hello, Carla. If you guys can hear me, please let me know. I presume you can. Wow.
Hopefully everything's working.
I know.
3, 2, 1.
But this is exciting. So,
It's the 2 of 1 show.
yes, it is. Hi, Michael. How
Hi,
are
Jamie.
you? Wow. Okay. So here's the deal, though. It looks like I won't be able to Facebook Live directly anymore from the software.
Okay.
Because
But
Facebook doesn't want us to do that. But I'm going to start putting this stuff out on YouTube
that works.
live.
Okay.
And then from there,
We'll republish it on the
we'll
Facebook.
on the Facebook,
There
my Tarot Facebook page, which is still the place I love to hang out, and it's one of my favorite places to go. So, Carla, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Carla? Because we're about to get started. Anybody? Okay, so I'm going to assume that it's working. So,
Yep.
we are finally starting to move along, and things are going to start making more sense because we're on
Number 3.
number 3. And so that means we've progressed from 1,
Yes.
So-
the point.
the point, and then
to the line.
to the line,
And now
we have the triangle. Or the U.
you got
We boxed ourselves in almost, but there's still a lid to it. No,
That's
okay.
later.
That's later, okay.
Triforce of power.
So, and 3 is a magic number, and I actually, before you even posted that, so on the Facebook page, Michael posted the
Schoolhouse Rocks.
Schoolhouse Rock, which is
It was also used in the Spider-Man end credits. That same song, they redid it.
did they?
Yeah. So
Spider-Man is the magic number.
No, because there was the 3 different actors. Spoiler.
Oh!
Spoiler.
Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen the last Spider-Man movie yet,
Yeah, go see it.
yeah, that was so good. So so 3, it's kind of interesting to finally get here because everybody has their own thoughts about 3. I mean, we have religion. You know, you've got the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. You've got the Holy Trinity. People put a magical significance on 3.
Absolutely, and even going back to like fairy tales, like there's 3 Billy Goats Gruff.
3
There's
bears.
3 little pigs. Exactly.
3 little pigs.
Yeah, but there's always 3 wishes from a genie. I mean, it's there's something about the number 3 that just lends itself to magic and fun.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you wonder why that one became the magic number. I mean, 5 didn't become a magic number, and yet we have, our entire, as far
5
as
fingers, 5 senses.
5 senses, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, 5 is seen as challenges.
Right.
And if you've seen me try and use my hands to make any art project, you'll see me fumbling why it's not very magical. Oh, I know.
Sometimes it can be challenging.
But a musical triad, ba, ba, ba,
right?
It's
magic.
Beautiful. It is absolutely magical.
Yeah. But you go back to Pythagoras, and he was the one that was saying that 3 is like the first real number, because instead of an abstract idea where it's just a dot or a line, now we're making shapes.
Right.
So it becomes something real.
Yeah, it's not just an intersection like this, which is a cross, which is a stop, which is a barrier, if you were to connect them together.
Sure.
And so it seems like, Carly, you get rain there. In Oregon. Oh, I love Oregon, by the way. So anyway, I got distracted because I love Oregon.
They're chatting.
Yes.
Good coffee.
Yes. So, so we have Pythagoras. We have 2 that we've moved past. So we're moving into the number 3. And so do you have something special you wanted to talk to about 3? Because for me, 3 is, so I'm the poet, the storyteller. And so for me with 3, it's finally a chance to start telling a story. So
Sure.
I'm
You got
excited
a
by it.
beginning, a middle, and end, right? That makes a
1,
story.
2, and 3.
Yeah, that makes a story.
Yes. So what were you thinking about?
So for me, threes are all about creativity. So you've got the obviously the man, woman, and child. But it's a realization more than anything. It's a realization of change and movement and growth. But it's that dawning of I see where we're going now. But it's the realization of that creativity. It's the light bulb going off.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and so and everybody people associate 3 with growth. Whenever you look at any of the books, all the books I have up there, growth is always one of them. And I mean, people obviously always say you have the coupling.
Yep.
And then from father and from 2 come a third.
Right. And you'll see that in the pip cards. They'll have this vines and stuff growing. From usually it's held that way, but with the 2 and then the 1 on top blossoming from it, with the coins.
Yeah.
Or with the cups, the same thing. You've got the 2 that are on the bottom.
Now we have this growth going on here, yeah.
And the vines grow, and you see the cup there at the top, from the 2 on the bottom.
Yeah.
Same thing with the coins, but yeah.
And especially, I mean, if you look at the older Viscontis,
right?
I mean, it is nothing but vines at this point. This is really, and so the Visconti is considered one of the first decks that we have completely. Except for a couple missing cards, but
and it's not a first complete deck. That would be the
right.
The other one.
It's missing, it's missing the Tower and the Devil, but and so growth is really big on these cards, and that's what we think about with 3s also. And so I was also thinking about since we have the 3. Whenever you are doing spreads, the first thing one of the first spreads people learn
3-card spread
are the 3-card spread,
right?
Past, present, future.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was just kind of going through things. So, what else people see 3 with? Spirit, mind, body.
Yep.
Mother, father, child. Past, present, future. Power, intellect, love. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Thought, feeling, emotion. Creator, destroyer, sustainer.
Yep.
Creation, preservation, and destruction. And what I was thinking about was the Wheel of Fortune. Mm-hmm. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, you have
3 people riding it.
Not only that, you have the beginning.
Yep.
You have the middle.
Yep.
And you have the end.
Right.
Repeat. Beginning, middle, end. Beginning, middle, end.
Right.
And it's just that karmic cycle.
And death on the bottom there to kind of help push the wheel around.
Yeah. So everything starts. And then life is everything in between.
Sure.
And then non-life.
Right. Well,
and then the end.
It's the hiccup before the life starts again.
Yeah. So if we want to go with the karmic, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
And that's even in as we move on to different phases in our life. Mm-hmm. We start a new phase.
Yep.
And then we have that period in between.
Where you're on top of the wheel.
And then that phase changes and we get married for the first time or something. And then we have... So it really is, even life is just a succession of phases. Beginning, middle, end.
Right. Exactly.
And everything comes to an end.
And
then starts...
And then it starts again.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, what else were you thinking of?
Hold
on. We're very deep, aren't we? We are very deep.
We think deeply.
I'm deep. No, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, if you want to connect it to the majors, we have the Empress, of course, who is all about creating. She's in this garden that's lush, full of creativity,
and it's all about growth,
right? Yep. And she's got her belly, which many people consider as pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Yep.
I'm going to move this light here.
She's adjusting lighting.
Make you look pretty.
Oh, well, thanks.
I was fixing the software all the way up to
the last second. Yeah.
So, exactly, yeah.
And then the next cycle would be 13, of course, the death.
And that is another transition.
Change. Yeah, another change.
So if you think about the Empress, she is the beginning of life. She is the start of life.
Right.
She is the one that nurtures it and it grows.
It creates life, yeah.
And it creates life. And so when we get to 13, it could be a physical death. It could be a moving on to something new.
But it's creating something new. It's not really the end because it's not the last card.
Right.
It's far from it.
But that's not what the death card means anyway.
Not at all.
He's just reaping.
Exactly. So you're reaping what you've sowed. But it's also planting for the future. It's you're creating the next phase. So the 13 is really another beginning. And then in my deck, I, as you know, have additional majors, which I'm adding on, and going back towards old historical cards.
So part of the deal is Michael, that we started this is so Michael is creating a deck, and it just became interesting to talk about all these different aspects.
Indeed.
So his deck is going to have how many?
100 cards.
100 cards.
Yep. And so I added a whole bunch of these cards that were faded out, of existence, but were in earlier iterations of the tarot. And one of these cards was the Falconer. And this... many have seen this card as a tribute to alternative lifestyles, homosexuality.
Right.
And so I see this card as he's rising above the restrictions and bias of the world to create a new identity.
Sure.
So it's a transition, if you will, to his new identity. And so it's another powerful, creative card, just like the Empress and the Death card. Here's the Falconer, and he's creating. So he's the 23 of my deck,
right?
And it's that creation cycle on yet another plane.
So do you know what is 22 on yours?
22. Oh, so that would be the card that comes before. That would be. I'm very deep.
Thank you. Now we can close.
And see. No. So that would be the vision. So I've got.
I'm just wondering because of the storytelling aspects.
Absolutely.
Because the fool's journey. Now he gets on this escalator and keeps going.
Right. Well. In my deck, actually, I put the fool. I pushed him towards the end. So the fool is actually number 30, or in the place he's unnumbered.
Right, but on the journey, he's still.
He can go anywhere.
He can go anywhere.
Okay. But yeah, number 2, of course, is the High Priestess, and she's got the veil between two worlds.
Well, we don't. Yeah, we know. I was just wondering about yours for a continuation of the story.
Right. So, but I was just saying how that relates to the other two. So, whereas the High Priestess has the veil, and what's the next? I'm blanking.
What
now.
for 12?
Oh, Hangman.
Yeah.
So the Hangman between the two trees, and then the vision is Morpheus at the two gates that separate dream from the waking world.
Gotcha.
That's last week. That's last week. So this is the Falconer. He's all about that 3 energy.
And again, it's all about
creative.
It's about the growth, the coming together,
and the realization of that change. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I guess 2, when you have 2, you're in isolation, you're good. But when you have a third, now you have a grouping, a coming together.
Right. Gets real.
Yeah, it does. So.
Do you want to go into breaking it down like we did last week and going into the symbology of all the different versions of the cards?
And see what people have thought about the different, because again, everybody's got all these different things. And of course, we're going to get to the Rider-Waite and what was Pamela Coleman Smith thinking.
Inspired, yes. So her card...
Well, hold on. You want to hold that up? Because that's going to be the fun one.
So you want to hold on to that? Okay, let's start with...
which one would you like to start with?
Let's start with the... you
want to start with the party?
Marseille. I definitely like to do it in sword cup wand pentacle.
Well, let's do that then.
Yeah, let's start off with a bang.
I am so flexible.
Because that's one of my little things is I have a definite order that I like to put the cards into, as I explained with the whole there's one Swords are ones because of they're based on the spade, which has 1 point.
Right.
Hearts are 2 because they have lobes, which translate to cups. And then you've got the wands that has the clover. So 3 lobes on the clover, and then the 4 points on the diamond. So I like to keep it in 1, 2, 3, 4 order like that. But yeah, starting with the swords, Pamela was definitely inspired by...
She was inspired by the...
Solabuska.
So
the Solabuska was the first... it's the first full deck that we have in existence.
Well, that all the pips.
All the pips are existing, all the majors are existing. It's a complete first
But
deck.
it's not the same deck.
It depends on your definition.
Well, no. I'm saying, so we're used to like the Marseille. The Rider-Waite follows the Marseille, but the Solabuska does not follow the Marseille style, right?
The Solabuska has fully illustrated pips.
Right.
So,
it's the first one that had fully illustrated pips.
That as well. Yes, indeed. And so for the 3 of Hearts, they did these 3 sheathed swords, piercing a heart. And this was on display in the British Museum at the time that Pamela was creating her deck for Waite.
Yep, and she would go in there and she would copy.
Be inspired by.
Yeah, be inspired by. Copy. Yeah. Well, I mean, she would make her sketches and then come back and things like that.
And flesh them out. Yeah. Put her own spin on it. It's not an exact copy at all.
Well, I mean,
but it's definitely
pretty darn close.
It's definitely inspired by.
Absolutely, that is pretty darn close.
She doesn't have the laurel wreath,
right.
and
but hers has got the range. She's reflecting a sense or feeling in here. I mean, here we have the neutral color of gray. Again, we have
wisdom,
light and dark, and then in between is the gray,
which in her deck always means wisdom, and her knowledge is that gray.
What's funny is that and they talk about that and the different colors. But I don't see gray as wisdom and knowledge.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, with Pamela.
I understand.
Yeah.
But again,
but you don't
keep in mind that they have blinds and things like that also. So I go more with my own instincts.
Sure.
Yeah, just because we don't know. But that's why I'm saying it's like I understand that there are. I mean.
Books and books saying this.
Yeah, well, people say it. It's not that Waite or Pamela wrote a book that said gray means this.
Right. I don't think that she actually came out and said that.
Right. And so, but people who
sure does.
said this is how we feel.
Yeah.
And I can see that for most of them are pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But yes, so when I see that gray, I see. I'm not seeing wisdom. I'm seeing just like it is. It's because my way of reading is what the fool sees, and it's like I see rain and I see things coming down.
I see rain. I feel sad.
I see yes.
But when we go into the Crowley's explanation of it, he was saying how the 3 of Swords represents this wondrous trance of sorrow that first enlightened the Buddha. So it's not ordinary sorrow. It's the sorrow of the world. It's compassion and understanding. So that knowledge, that understanding, is the heart of the matter. It's not all about just heartbreak.
Oh,
it's.
Let me catch up as you go on. If you don't click live, you don't see it.
Click live. Oh. Were they able to...
They were just sitting there.
They were just hearing
chatting.
It? Oh, no.
No, they weren't even... Well, actually, the whole recording is recording.
Right, so and then we got mine. My feed is working.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry, guys. We're here. So there's people on YouTube, and it's like, I didn't know that you actually had to click go live.
Oops. So sorry that you're joining us midstream here, but
we've had a wonderful conversation. I'm going to repost this,
and you can rewatch what you missed.
And the beginning will be there. Yes.
Yeah.
So here, let me ask people on YouTube. Make sure.
Yeah. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
OMG.
Oh, Carla. And see, these are the wonderful people
Thank
here.
you.
These are the people. I am sending out special vibes to the patient ones.
Yes, indeed.
Silly guys. If I can ever have a gift for you, I will pass gifts out to you guys for hanging around.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll watch the beginning of this feed after we're done with the end.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We'll repost it. But anyway, yeah. So
Sorry
moving
about that.
forward.
I saw that and it's like, get out of here. Okay. So anyway, we're talking about threes, guys. And we said some really deep stuff.
We did.
And we were in the middle of a really deep sentence, so I'm going to bring it back to Michael for his really deep sentence.
Now I lost my train of thought. But rewind it.
Well, we can skip to fours.
No, that's next week.
Oh, okay.
But threes, three of swords. So swords, it's a mental change necessary for progress, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, okay, and yes.
So it's not just heartbreak. That's the confusing blind that you're talking about.
Yes.
It's not just the heart, because the swords are thinking, not emotion. So what's the heart doing there? So yes, there is heartbreak. Yes, there is sorrow. But the whole point of this card is that it's the understanding of why there's the suffering, and that growth is needed. It's time to reinvent yourself. Oh, maybe you had your heart broken, but now is the time to move on from it. You know that.
Right.
And it's just getting your emotions to catch up.
And I think personally that a lot of people try and fit the meaning to the card instead of the card fitting the meaning. Do you know what I mean?
I don't.
And
Explain.
the reason I say that is because logically,
Yes.
the three is about growth. It's about change. Swords are about thoughts.
Yep.
And yes, so thoughts can trigger emotions.
Sure.
But now we're kind of like, we're stretching to fit that in there because it's like you have to use the word emotion in there, and it's like, hold on, that's the cups.
Right. But so it's a tricky one to wrap your head around.
But again, since I base my readings on the cards,
Yep.
this is going to trigger heartache. This is going to
As it should. And
I literally do not use with the
numerology.
Well, no, I do, but then if I'm using the Marseille deck, this is so much easier.
Right. There's no heart to confuse
the three
you.
of swords. So first off, when you have a one, a sword, you have a new idea and it springs forth. And then you have two, you have a decision to make.
Right.
And it's thinking, and it's like you've got the blinds, the person sitting there blindfolded and things like that.
Yep.
And then three is a decision. It's something finally breaking through the two.
Okay.
And, it could be something that is causing a disruption. Mm-hmm. A mental disruption. Or it could be a presentation of a new idea and a new thought that finally settles the score so that you can move on to four and actually absorb what you've taken in.
Okay. So here's a different way of thinking of it, though, the way that I see it. So I connect the numerology with the elemental qualities. Mm-hmm. So for me, the one is the essence, the wholeness, the unity of it. The two becomes duality, so the opposites or conflict or partnership, something is happening. Mm-hmm. And then with the three, I've got the realization of the change, and the creativity. Sure. Right. So what's the with Pamela's heart there? It's not. Keeping that in mind,
right?
It's more than just the heartbreak that most people, have that one that one word trigger.
Yeah,
and that's missing the whole. What I feel to be the whole point of this card. It's not about the heartbreak. It's about the realization of what to do now. Now that I've had my heart broken, how do I reinvent myself? How do I get over this person? How do I...
Well, how about this? How do you overcome an emotional grief? Well, sometimes somebody will say, you have to just think it through.
Think it through.
Be logical.
Exactly.
How about that? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the
So I can see that. But
Yeah.
I think that the main thing is that she saw this and it's like, that's cool, man.
Right. It's very hard not to be inspired by the Solobusca. It's a beautiful card. But look at this card. The swords are not unsheathed. Like Pamela has her swords, and they are swords. But this has the sheaths on. There's red sheaths, so the swords are covered up. They are.
Which is more painful.
Well, I mean, I guess
it's like cutting somebody's heart out with a spoon because it hurts more,
right? And I see it could be a heart or it could be a shield.
Right.
It could be, there's more to this card than meets the eye.
Right. And again, I look at Pamela Coleman Smith's as a launching point. It is a snapshot in a much larger picture.
Exactly.
In a movie.
Right.
So it's just a still.
Yeah.
That doesn't, if you take one still out of a movie, it's not going to explain the movie.
Sure. But it can help you get there.
It helps you to remember things and things like that.
Yep.
But I think the main thing that I keep in mind is the numerology.
Absolutely.
And what the element or what the thing represents. And so
that's the essence.
The other thing that I see it is that if this was the 1600s and we saw swords, and I always fall back on this also. So the wands would be peasants because the wood and the woodsmen, coins, merchants. The swords are going to be the military. It's going to be the
leaders.
Political, and it's going to be the leaders.
Yeah.
And so when I see this, when I see a 3 of swords, I see a final decision happening. I see that somebody has taken this sword and it is a final push.
Right. Pushing through the whatever is going on here. Going right through the middle.
Right through the middle. So that's how I see this when I'm doing this. And so I even apply it to this. And, I'm sitting here looking at the chat. And everybody's got different... Most people see the calamity in this. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm seeing the different types of calamity. And it's like, Georgie Porgy, it's like, you're not the first person I've heard say that.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna. I don't want to go emotional because it's a very emotional statement. But I've heard that before.
But it's the thinking that will get you through the calamity.
Yes,
and that's the message or the lesson of this card is that you need your mind to get through.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Rachel Pollack, she, I was trying to maybe even find a way to like wrap my head around how people look at it. And so she says to view the sequence, the card sequences as descending. So going from 10 to 1. So when you're telling your story, and you'll see that some books actually have them going. I think even does Rider-Waite do that?
I don't think so.
3, 2, yeah. Some of the little white books will start with the 10s
doing
and
in reverse order.
In reverse order.
Yeah.
So even if you do that, it's like, so it's the 4 of swords. 4s are about stability and balance. You take 1 away. I mean, you still have. Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah. I want to understand. I want to grasp.
But when you're doing a reading, it's not like you're putting them out in order anyway.
No.
So it's I don't know whether they go which order.
I get so hung up on the Pamela Coleman Smith card because I just don't agree with it. I think she saw a really cool card. It's like what she did with the what was that? The 10 of the Solobusca's 10 of swords. And it made the 10 of swords
into the 10 of
like
wands.
the 10 of wands.
Yeah.
And that made more sense.
Yep.
So if you see the Solobusca's 10 of swords, it is the 10 of wands in the Rider-Waite.
Yep.
I just am always wrapping my head around that. But when I'm doing a reading, I don't deal with that at all. It's what's to the left, what's to the right.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, with the what is it? The Golden Dawn? No.
Fred?
Is it
Fred's Secret Society?
It's Golden Dawn, right? That's what Rider-Waite.
Yeah. That was the Golden Dawn. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I thought it was, but yeah, having a momentary blip there. I'm like, am I right? I'm right. Okay.
Old-timers disease kicking in.
I know. I'm getting there. But yeah, they call it the Lord of Sorrow. This is Saturn.
Oh, yeah.
And this is Saturn in Libra, though. So it's all about karma and justice and harmony. So Saturn is karma, and Libra is, of course, justice, harmony. So you got this thinking, which is very appropriate to the swords.
Right.
But that karmic, justice or equaling of good and bad happening, which again it hits home and helps you get through this trauma or whatever
Right.
whatever this is with the swords. But it helps you grow. And that's what threes are all about. It's
Right.
helping you to grow.
Yeah.
But sometimes
and pain and for the last 2 days, it seems like the readings have been pain is the motivator anyway. What's going to
Right.
take to move on? Georgia Porgy says this is the Lord of Sorrow.
Yeah, exactly, the Lord of Sorrow. Yep, and cracks are where the light gets in, right? So when you have the three swords, cutting into you, that's the only way that the strong you get stronger and wiser. Having been through that, now maybe you're ready for being light,
Right.
and maybe you weren't before. So
Right.
sometimes you need to go through hardship in order to better appreciate the good times.
And so I think what we determined, what we always come up with is that throw the book away.
Exactly.
Throw your books away. Get an understanding. Get your insights. Get started. Then take all your books.
Well, and give them to us
Yeah, really.
so we can grow our library.
But what does it mean to me?
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to you?
Exactly.
Gray clouds, I do absolutely understand why that could be wisdom and things like that.
Sure.
But if you're in Oregon and you see gray clouds every day, it's like, that's not wisdom.
Aw. Have another cup of coffee.
Yeah, really. But maybe it's when that little parting happens and you hear,
Right?
"Ah,"
Right? The sun
and a
comes
little
through.
shining light.
And that it is so much more powerful than if it was just sunny every day. Right?
No, I will take Hawaii
Me too.
over Maryland winters any day.
Yeah, no doubt. But okay, so going into so with the so as I was saying with the Crowley one, it's that first sorrow that enlightened the Buddha. So you have to have sorrow in order to move on.
Right.
And so that's the growing three of the tarot. Now, ready for cups?
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting. I mean, even Crowley, who like to be all intricate and everything like that. But again, a lot of the original esoterics,
Yeah.
they just saw the minors as throwaways for
Well,
fortune telling.
well-
It was for fortune telling, and they really literally focused on
Just
the majors when they were doing their meditations and things like that. And to me, the minors are so important.
I agree. So I definitely am having fully fleshed
Yes.
out, minor arcana as well.
Yep. So which one you want to move on to next?
Let's go to the cups.
The cups.
Yeah. So the cups are party time. This is the Lord of Abundance, and Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury is the mind.
Cancer. It sounds like how you get cancer.
No. So Mercury is the mind, and Cancer is the most receptive sign. So it's all about receiving, opening your mind to receive the images, and when you do, you have that inspiration that you can. It's an opportunity to connect with others.
Right.
With the Rider-Waite-Smith, you've got the three graces here. You're toasting to the joy of life. They're celebrating. It could be a marriage. It could be like a newborn, a new birth. Who knows what they're celebrating? But those
Right.
are appropriate things for a 3.
And where exactly? So this is where you look at the spirituality. You look at the emotional. You look at it's a water sign.
Yep.
And this makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean, when I see the 3 of Cups, I have no problems recognizing that this is about celebrating. Even when I go into the 3 of Cups on the Marseille,
Yep.
we have this cup here, and then we have another one being supported, almost like the Holy Grail. It's like something to celebrate.
The 2 are creating a 3rd.
Yeah, we have this trinity here.
Yep.
And actually, again, if you're going to be looking at this, and based on cards around it, you could also see that maybe there's a separation also. So take things into consideration. Look for your inspiration.
Sure.
Again, when you're connecting with that psychic, whatever ether out there, whatever works for you.
Yep.
What do you see?
Exactly. And the Solabusca, since we did the sword, might as well do the cups as well. Very Marseille-like with the vines and but interestingly, they have the 2 above the 1 instead of the opposite.
Right.
But the same idea. You've got growing vines.
Yeah. And
and the Visconti.
And the Visconti, it's like they just made it nice and simple.
Yep.
Although if I was actually reading with this, I would be wondering why one cup is emptying
knocked
out
over.
its contents.
Yeah. Or you've got the 2 on either side, but then...
And again, this is using your instincts and your intuition when you're doing a reading, and it's like, is this cup spilling something onto something else? And why would there be a negative connotation to this? Maybe 3s are about growth. Maybe it's also about overindulgence.
Overindulgence, sure, could be.
Because they are definitely like indulging.
Yeah. It would depend on the reading and the cards around it, obviously, as it always does.
Yep. But generally, celebration, and then looking at the cards, we can see here that we have all these different... We have the white for the virginal, we have the yellow for the wisdom, and we have the red for the fire.
Yeah.
And they're dancing around. It's autumn, which is about growth.
Right. You got
because
the pumpkins.
We have the pumpkins.
Sure.
So Pamela is celebrating
Seasonal.
that growth and celebrating that seasonal thing there.
Yeah.
Good Pamela.
Yeah.
I like her. I do.
I do too. I as much as I don't like things about the Rider-Waite-Smith, I also really do like things about the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I couldn't say that it's a love-hate relationship.
Right.
It's both.
Absolutely.
But I do really admire her contributions to the tarot.
Yeah. And we have somebody on Twitch, Teresa70, who says, we're doing very well.
Oh, well, thank you.
More kudos to you. So I've got a bunch of people I'm putting on my good list.
Yeah.
And it's helping to balance that other list.
Well, I appreciate all you guys watching. It definitely,
Absolutely.
It's fun to have a live audience. But yes, moving on, shall we? 3 of Wands.
You want to go to the Wands?
Let's do it.
Okay, so, let's see here. So, and I want to see where the story's going. So we have the first cup, which is about new feelings and don't forget about, the cups are also, people see this is about burgeoning new romance.
Yes, indeed.
And who was it? Was it Pollock or was it not Pollock? Who was it who says...
Lots of things to celebrate.
Yeah, well, that's like, when this comes up in a reading, it could also be a menage a trois.
Right?
So it could be,
right? Yeah.
And who was it who said that?
Yeah, I do remember reading that as well. Yeah, it's unconventional relationships.
I think it was Greer. I think Greer, it's got it in there also about unconventional relationships.
Yep.
So, since cups are also about relationships and things like that, it could be anything
threesomes
like that.
So
it starts
love
with
triangles.
the first cup, something new. The second cup, where you have the 2 cups. And so that is the coming together of 2 people and celebrating. And then 3 could be a birth.
Sure.
We're celebrating the birth, the growth of something also.
It's very appropriate for a
Yes.
creative 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So, did you want to touch the The Crowley.
Oh, yes, I almost forgot.
See, he's a Crowley guy. I am. He's also a Marseille guy, but I'm the Marseille guy.
I am non-discriminatory, but I do love Crowley. I do love Crowley. So yeah, very, very overflowing. Everything is good. He calls this card abundance, and all the cups are overflowing beautifully. And the pomegranates, though, dun dun dun. The pomegranates say, Crowley says, well, you know, what does he say? He says that the good times in life should be enjoyed, but distrusted.
Yeah.
Because the pomegranates make us think of Persephone again and her trip down to so yes, everything is good, but it's Crowley, so maybe not. And then that's true with every card. There's good and bad in every card. So even when the cups overfloweth, you can beware of the pomegranates. Beware of being trapped in the underworld.
They overfloweth.
Yes.
Oh, don't lose that.
Thank you.
Michael has been leaving his cards here lately.
It's a conspiracy.
But I have not used them in a reading. There was one week I was using multiple aces and not knowing it. So
right.
that was greatness. Truly greatness. Where do you want to go to next? Then?
All right, let's go to wands.
Wands.
So,
and I'm always thinking, it's like, how are we going to fill up an hour? And now it's like, how are we going to get done in an hour?
Right.
My theory is that anything longer than an hour is boring.
So let's keep it going. Keep it going. All right. So 3 of Wands. This is the Lord of established strength, and so in the Rider-Waite, we've got the established man. He's already set his ships off, and now he's waiting for them to come in. He's on he's in control. He's the Lord of strength here. And he's got the high ground, but he's kind of overseeing his collaborators, and they're either going off or they're coming in. But at any rate, he's waiting for his ship to come in.
Yeah.
And it's all about an active effort underway, clear and purposeful.
So for some reason, the analogy that just always stuck with me. So now we have this guy who's actually, as you were saying, moving forward. So the first wand is the inspiration, the creative, something new. And the second one is about choices. And you're still making the decision.
You're still planning, right?
And as the analogy that just stuck in my head, and I think I mentioned it last time, is that somebody says, you have the 2 of Wands, whereas you have your child going off to college and you still have lots of choices to make. And when you get the 3 of Wands, the choice is made. It's a done deal.
He's enrolling.
That's where they're going. They're enrolling now. Yep. So it's, the 2, you still have options.
Right.
3, your ships are out sailing.
Right.
It's like, maybe I should call them back. It's like, no, you're done. Go.
You're right. And he's strong. He's in charge. And it's the sun in Aries. So very fiery, very in charge, very established.
I mean, look at how bright this card is. This card is and even the water is just glowing yellow. Gold. It's reflecting gold from the sun.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is about taking your wisdom, taking your choice, making your decision, and it's a strong decision. This person is dressed in red, and he's got green for growth hanging over his shoulder.
Yep.
And you can see that the wands are all sprouting because they're
growing. Yeah.
They're growing. So, yeah.
And even with the Marseille, you've got vines sprouting, and you've got that third wand breaking through the other 2. So this might have been a stalemate, and now things are back on track. Things are growing and sprouting.
Yep.
It's the creative action. So we've gone through creative thought with the swords, creative emotion with the cups. This is creative action now. With you're taking your matches and you're lighting them. Getting it done.
Yeah, and with the Marseille, so when you have a cross purposes.
Yeah.
You have the 2 that are smacking together, and then the third person breaks that stalemate. Exactly. And that's breaking that stalemate, saying, now it's time for action.
Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun. And so I was just going to throw out, I do like the fact that in the mystical moments, somebody who is not a tarot reader but took all the analogies of the tarot.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to throw out, instead of just saying all the regular stuff, in hers, she has the Three of Wands. A woman standing in front of a harbor holds a ship in her hand, and she's full of ideas to launch her future. She has bravely left her comfort zone and possesses the self-confidence to face the adventures awaiting her. The woman is very tall, and from her lofty view, she can see beyond the horizon at what lies ahead. The swallows around her inspire her movement towards an exciting new place. Her 3 long winding braids show her progress.
Indeed.
So I think that I do like...
In a different interpretation of
different interpretations. I do like pulling out different decks and just seeing what... somebody that breaks the mold but still says the same thing.
And that reminds me...
what does this remind you?
To pull out this other deck that I've got, the Astensi Tarot. This is
Astensi.
Yeah, this is the Golden Tarot of the Renaissance. It took the Charles the fourth. Thank you. I always forget the number. The Goudoir Tarot.
The unpronounceable tarot.
And they have fully illustrated pips in this one as well. Let me find the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is beautiful. We've got the 3 cups there, and they have the a cross on one, a heart on the other, and an anchor on the third. So that's the faith, hope, and charity, of course, being represented. But she's praying for change. I'm assuming.
Coupe, chalice.
Yeah. That's another really interesting interpretation of
it is, and so I'm sitting here just kind of absorbing what
Absolutely.
I would if I saw this 3 of Cups like this, and this makes it a very solemn moment. And again, cups are about the spirituality and emotions.
Yeah,
and so I can see
not quite the party of the Rider-Waite-Smith, but still it's praying for
head covering on the outside, party on the inside.
She's that kind of nut.
Business in the front, party in the back.
But yeah, no, it's always interesting to see other interpretations, especially of the minors. For my card of the Three of Cups, I do have the 3 toasting graces, but I also have them stomping grapes. So they're creating their drink.
Gotcha. That's cool. Okay.
Right? But yeah, let's go forward into...
Go forth unto...
where were we? Where were wands?
We were at wands. We were done with wands.
Okay. So what? So wands. Yeah, for this one, they did the 3 spinsters spinning.
I'm just laughing at something somebody said.
Oh yeah, what did they say?
Just no back parties.
No mullets. But yeah.
What do you got there?
So this is the 3 of Wands from that other from this other deck. A beautiful interpretation.
Oh yeah.
So they're wands.
So they're spinners.
They're spinners, exactly.
Creating like the 3 fates.
Exactly.
Everybody always has the 3 fates. Anytime you see 3,
yeah,
people think
those
the
weird
3 fates.
Those weird sisters, they get around. But yeah, so in my 3 of Wands, I've got I do have the 3 weird sisters, but they're sitting at the bottom of a cliff, and on the top of the cliff is the guy holding the wand and looking out at his ships. So it's kind of a combination between this one and the Rider-Waite
Gotcha.
Smith. But yeah,
and I I'm not going to let you forget because you always bring up the Crowley.
Thank you, yes.
Michael, I'm a fan of Michael's, if not Crowley. I do like the Crowley deck. I think it's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. But yes, Crowley actually keeps pretty consistent with the traditional Marseille.
But look at that orange, that glowing
very
orange.
Very fiery.
Which again, one of the things that's interesting is when you compare other people from the Golden Dawn, that obviously somebody said 3 is very intense.
Yeah, orange and gold.
So so Crowley's got the gold is the wands itself.
Right.
And then the kind of brownish around it. And here we have the gold is all everywhere, and the sticks are actually...
Yeah. But Crowley says the idea has been fertilized, as he would.
Of course he would. Party in the front. Something like that.
We'll keep this party going.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have...
Add some stability. We got the creative stability of the coins.
Yeah.
And here we've got
Coins.
the Lord of Material Works. So this is Mars in Capricorn, and Mars is energy, Capricorn is work. So this is the happy little craftsman here. He's nothing happier than crafting, than making
craft.
Than working.
I shall make craft.
Well, he's a master crafter.
So here we have the craftsman and this gentleman here holding the blueprints.
Yes. So that's So it's who are these people? So it's definitely a holy man. You can tell by the haircut and the robes. He's holding the plans there, and the other one is the fool. So we've got the
other one is the fool.
Yeah, he's dressed like a fool, right?
No.
You don't see it as a fool?
No, when you have the long cap like that, that's still that's not the fool's cap. That's not the coxcomb, as it's called.
Well, I see it as a fool.
Which you certainly can. To me, when I see this, I see the monk, I see the rich man with the money, I see the plans here, and this is the craftsman, and they're working together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crafty
it's all about
guy.
that team effort.
So we have...
But the focus is on the creative.
Right, and so we have the merchant here to go with the wands, is how I see that.
Okay.
Because the holy man's not going to be dressed in anything as gaudy as that. and a priest is not going to be talking to a fool like that.
Well, the way I see it is that that the holy man is the voice and the fool is the vision, and then this is the craftsman that is materializing their ideas.
I say I see that as the merchant who is supplying money to the church.
Okay. Well, they're sometimes kind of foolish.
And obviously he's going to get, right there is what they're probably carving his name into it, saying, donated by the most amazing person because he has money and not because he's actually a good person. Isn't that how that works?
That you fool!
And actually, as I go through this also, keeping in mind that the Golden Dawn came from a Masonic background.
You've got the Rosy Cross,
and
absolutely.
Yep.
Right there in the middle, the Rosicrucians. Yep. And you've got the 3 pentacles here, hinting at the top 3 Sephira of the Tree of Life. This is the holiest and the top Trinity, basically.
So if we think about then what coins are, okay, so we know that they are considered earth, building, things like that.
Yep.
And so, and if we go along with one of the things that I look at is that merchants would have that. So
sure.
So that's why I would consider this, because they're about money. So
sure.
Coins are about money. Pentacles are about
money. And you know what they say, a money and
a fool are soon parted.
There you go. You knew where I was going with that.
Unfortunately.
You read my mind.
Yes. And so this is about using your money to grow. And that's why I say also about the workman in here. If I'm looking at a snapshot,
sure.
I'm seeing a merchant who's actually doing good with his money.
Absolutely.
He is, and this would be seen as good.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
He's
building
donating your money, things like that.
building this beautiful church or what have you.
Right. And
sure.
So then we also have the Marseille. So if I'm reading the Marseille, because I am looking at it as merchant, as coin, as money. And don't forget that coins are also reflecting health also.
Sure.
Because, you have your earth, you're
your
connected
body,
to the
yep,
earth, your
yep.
body and growth. And so, when you're looking at this, you have to imagine, so you have your 3, the cards around it, but about using your money and making things grow with it, being wise with it.
Investing in the right things.
Yes. And so what are the positive aspects that you have of this card here in particular? And again, you also want to reflect on the different colors because, red is about action and activity. And so this is showing it, the red around it, like you've created this third, you've got this energy
Get it
that
done.
is now going reflected in the blue, which is about the spirituality. So, they were looking at the Marseille decks. Maybe this is her representation of the energy and action that goes into building.
Absolutely.
And but that's my storytelling.
Sure. Yeah.
I love telling. So we have
we never really know what with the Marseille, so it gives more liberty for us to weave those stories.
Exactly, and I'm just throwing that out so people, again, you use your imagination. The books are not always right.
Always use your imagination, and then with the Crowley,
with the Mr. Crowley,
right? We've got so this is an area.
You realize that in that song by Ozzy Osbourne, he's not saying Mr. Crowley.
Well, many people
get Mr. Crowley.
Many people get his name pronounced wrong. It's my mission to always help people pronounce correct because I have one of those names that are always mispronounced.
What do you mean,
well.
Mr. Auger?
It's pronounced Auger. Like, I think of orange juice, but it's spelled Auger. So people are constantly, unless I'm in France, always getting that wrong.
And I always think about, what is that show with Miss Bouquet? Well, it's spelled bucket, but it's pronounced bouquet.
Right. No, I'm not.
That British show, I love that. No, but his actually does look like Auger.
Yeah.
You can definitely.
It looks.
I just thought about this. Arrested Development. Job, do you know how he spells his name? And Arrested, G-O-B.
Job.
It's Job.
Job.
Job. So is there a gob?
Oh, gob. Okay, gotcha. I was trying to.
Okay, we went on a tangent.
Yes,
We're back
yes.
now.
All right, back to Crowley. And
Mr. Crowley.
Hello, Odin's Ra. We're talking about threes this week. And we've got, so the Crowley has this aerial view of a pyramid in a desert.
Which is interesting.
Representing the Sea of Binah. And the sand dunes are formed by blasts of energy, coming out.
Right.
And the 3 wheels that are supporting, if you look really close, there's, it's hard to see, so you're going to have to zoom in really close. But there are the symbols for mercury, sulfur, and and mercury, sulfur, and salt, which are the not those. Those are the that's your
the male,
astrological element. But it's actually in the hubs of the wheels.
Oh, in the hubs of the wheels.
Yeah, they've got the 3 symbols.
Oh, look at this. Okay.
The 3 symbols for the building blocks of everything: mercury, sulfur, and salt.
Oh, the $10.18 I spent on the camera was worthwhile.
Right? Super zoom in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's his interpretation. It works. Again, you're growing, you're establishing, and you're manifesting.
Right.
The material establishment of the idea of the universe is his interpretation.
Right.
That Frida Harris lovely brings to life. But it's really all about the creation and the initial completion. So 3s are really like the first time we've the first thing is, I mean, there's a lot more to come, but this is the first, like, hey, we did something.
We are moving. It even looks like an arrow. It's a point if you think about it. It is about moving forward now, and we have a direction because, here's your little sign right here, and it's an arrow. Boom.
Right? But yeah.
Yeah. And it does move on because now it's, we're going to move to the next number, but we have made our decision. We had the idea. We've thought about it.
Yes.
We've had to balance and juggle and come to a conclusion of some type, even though we may have struggled to come to that decision. But now, whether it's the time's up or we're forced to it or we just came to a logical conclusion,
things are in action.
3.
Yeah.
We have that stability. Finally, if we were designing a stool,
we can actually set it up.
We can actually set our stool up now because we have 3 legs. You take one of those legs away from a stool and you have a comedy practice.
Right. But with 3, you can actually sit down.
We are now establishing that stability.
Right.
Which is going to give us a chance to take a rest next week. Which is going to give us a chance to
don't give it all away. Don't give it all away. That's forced.
Yes. I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You were hinting.
We might be doing the 12s.
No.
Are you sure?
We're going in order.
Oh, okay. We will not be doing the 12. So, exactly. So, we have a few minutes here. And so...
as we like to do.
Shall we go ahead and let's see the 3s in action. And is there a particular... Shall we stick with the Rider-Waite since...
Sure, if you like. Or we could do the this one if you like, or now. No, let's do Rider-Waite.
Yeah, then the only reason I'm saying that is because it's got such pretty pictures.
Sure.
And people are used to that particular deck, and it's a good focus.
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
So then let's see.
So pick out your 3.
Which one would you?
Well, you want to go cups this time?
Cups?
Let's
Emotions. Okay.
Yeah, it's such a happy card.
You're stuck on that thing because I said threesome. It's like I know you're.
I don't know. I think there's this word. I'm not exactly sure what I think it's pronounced ménage à trois.
Oh, God. Only problem is that they left us out of it.
Well,
I know. This is a family show. Okay. So then if we have our 3 there.
Yes.
And I'm going to mix in these cards here. And so
it's
I felt the need to go back to my original deck. This is the deck I got when I was in my 20s. It's old, it's grungy looking.
Yeah.
And so we have the 3 of Cups. So if somebody comes along and they have a question that would deal with emotions, that would deal with maybe a wedding coming up, maybe it is a decision about about maybe a family gathering coming up, maybe so what would you say with the 3 of Cups then? You wanted to do the cups. What would be the question?
The question? Well, it could be
you know what? How about if we just do past, present, and future where they're going?
That sounds great.
So we have the 3 of Cups, and we have a start of a relationship, and we're celebrating the relationship.
What are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? Let's let the cards...
So let's see where we came from.
Yeah,
where we're
going, or where we are. Okay.
And where we're going.
Okay, so past, present, future.
So here we have it. And we have where we were because she's in white, and that's that beginning, that virginal beginning. And here we have the energy of where
we are now.
And it's always exciting in a relationship. This is a good relationship spread. And then the yellow is the wisdom
or the sunset.
Or the sunset, but the wisdom that we gain from being with the people.
The golden wisdom. Yes.
So we're coming from
lots of choices.
7 reverse. The 7 reverse is a positive thing in the fact that we had all these choices we could have made. We have these things here, and it's all pie in the sky. But instead, we threw this around and said, you know what? I'm not going to just go based on wishes. So this shows there's a good, solid stability based on, something other than just wishful thinking. What do you think?
Right, absolutely, and that's instead of just wishing on whatever, because it's reversed here, we can have a little bit more clarity, hopefully.
Yep.
And the past is what do they say about the past is hindsight is 20/20, right?
Right.
So it's clear what the past is, or more clear to us now.
Yep. And today's yesterday's tomorrow anyway.
Right. So what's today have in store?
Okay, so where are we now then? Oh, look at this.
Everything is sunny.
Field goal.
Yay.
So it's like,
The sun.
So regardless of where the relationship is, this is the time to look at the positive sign, because they are toasting the sun. They are toasting all the good things. Even if the relationship is struggling, because he's on that gray horse. And so maybe...
No, the gray means wisdom. Everything is good. Everything is good.
I know, but I'm just...
The sun is a happy card.
But I'm saying that we have the new growth here under the sun. And even if things are struggling, it's this child, this growing of new ideas, this growing of... It's just all about finding that positive growth.
That is it. I see it as our day in the sun.
Our day in the sun.
Like right now, things are good, and we've got clarity on the past. Today is good, but what does the future hold?
So
the 3 of Wands, very appropriately.
So we're stumbling, which happens in relationships. I mean, so
it can't stay sunny all the time.
Now it's sometimes in a relationship, and sometimes while we're even having a reading, it's like, because we are rudderless, we're trying to figure out what to do. And we have these false starts. So the question would be, is that... Somebody just said, hey, out there. I don't know if they were talking or not, but it just blew my concentration. But, yes, so...
Let me take over. Tag team. So with the 3 of Wands in the reversed, so he's usually, when it's upright, he's in charge. He's in control.
The direction is we have a direction.
But now he's losing the direction. So this is the future is uncertain. It's here we had certainty with the past, and the future is uncertain. So and maybe you won't be in charge in the future. So we have to prepare for that.
Right. And so
it might be good now.
Right now
everything's good.
Yeah, we live in the moment.
Right.
But we live in the moment, but we need to think about where we're going.
Prepare for the future.
Yep.
So that we can...
You can plan, but don't project.
Exactly.
You can plan a camping trip, but you can't plan the weather.
Because some things are outside our control.
Right.
And that's that leads me to talk just a little bit more about my card and how I had the fates down there.
Yep.
So I've got in my card, I've got him at the top of the hill, but below the hill is those 3 fates, suggesting that some things are outside of our control. As much as he is in charge, watching his ships comes in, there's some things, fate, that we just can't control.
Yep. So
I think...
hold on. Go ahead and open up the door. Why are you knocking on my door?
We're being interrupted here.
We are being interrupted. Who is it? It's the 3 fates knocking on our door. Right. So anyway, we have tacos to go eat anyway.
We need to cut this short.
So yes, and like I say, anything over an hour.
Right.
But this has been awesome. I am so glad that we're actually able to fill an hour just talking about the 3.
I'm never worried.
I am always surprised.
He's
never worried. I am always surprised. Like, what can we possibly say? But it works out every time.
Every time. And if you missed the first half...
I'm going to be loading this up. I've got it also filmed, so I've got the whole thing.
So just go back to YouTube and watch it again.
Yep, go back to YouTube. I'll also be posting it on the MyTarot, which you can go to if you want to see the Facebook page where we chit-chat.
Yep.
We have the Facebook page there. We have the MyTarot here. And then we also have links to...
artyforever.com and offbeatartwork.com. Both are my links to my website to check out my artwork.
Yep. And I have started midnight sideshows because I'm also a musician.
There we go.
And I'm going to be playing live on the 31st. So if you're in Maryland on the 31st at the Twin Valleys Distillery at 6 o'clock, you could hear me actually playing music and getting down with my bad self. So with that,
all the things.
It's so exciting. I hope everybody here just has the most amazing week.
Indeed.
I will be doing my readings tomorrow morning. It may just be on Facebook and then uploaded to, on YouTube and then uploaded to Facebook, and I'll make an announcement about that.
But find us on Facebook and YouTube or wherever. Make lots of comments. That's what keeps us.
Tell your friends.
Yes. And promote us and help us grow just like a 3.
Yeah, we're not asking for money. We just, I just want to learn. And I enjoy. And with my job also, I learn more by teaching.
Exactly.
And so that's what that's my big thing.
Yeah.
So
with that,
we're going to go ahead and say goodbye finally.
JD.
Michael, we're going to go have tacos together.
Take care, everybody.
Bye. Thanks again.